Friends, have you ever pondered the vastness of space and time and our rather fleeting place within it? We spend our lives chasing dreams, building connections, and seeking knowledge, all within the confines of a rather limited time frame. But what if that time frame expanded indefinitely? Imagine a world where humans could live forever. No more saying goodbye too soon, no more dreams left unfulfilled due to the constraints of time. A world brimming with endless possibilities where the boundaries of human achievement would be limitless. Sounds fascinating, doesn't it? But hold on. Before we start planning for our infinite futures, it's worth considering the profound ripple effect such a drastic change would have on our world. From the way we structure our societies to the very essence of what it means to be human, eternal life would irrevocably alter the course of our species. Let's explore these impacts together. Let's start with the most obvious impact: population. We're already pushing the limits of our planet's resources with our current population growth. Imagine adding immortality to the equation. With births continuing but deaths dwindling, we'd face an unprecedented population explosion. Resource scarcity would reach catastrophic levels, potentially leading to social unrest and conflict over dwindling supplies. And what about the dynamics between generations? The natural cycle of life brings with it fresh perspectives, new ideas, and a passing of the torch from one generation to the next. But in a world of immortals, would innovation stagnate? Would younger generations struggle to find their place in a world dominated by the wisdom, but also potentially the entrenched views of their eternally youthful elders? Now let's dive into the deeply personal love, relationships and family. The concept of "till death do us part" takes on a whole new meaning when death is no longer a factor. Would eternal life strengthen bonds? Or would the weight of endless years lead to new forms of relationship dynamics and perhaps even entirely new relationship structures? Let's shift gears from the societal to the economic. Imagine a workforce where experience is no longer measured in decades but in centuries. Individuals could potentially dedicate their lives to mastering multiple fields, becoming walking encyclopedias of knowledge. Economic productivity could skyrocket with innovations occurring at a pace we can barely fathom. But here's the flip side. In a world where no one retires, would competition for resources and opportunities become even more fierce? Would we see a widening gap between those who have accumulated wealth and knowledge over centuries and those just starting their indefinite journeys? And what about the very concept of a career? Would we cycle through countless professions, seeking new challenges over our extended lifespans? These changes would demand a complete overhaul of our current economic models. Concepts like retirement planning, social safety nets, and even the definition of work would need to be re-evaluated for a world no longer bound by a finite lifespan. Chapter 3. The quest for immortality, technological marvels, and the ethical dilemmas of life extension. Achieving immortality would be nothing short of a technological and medical triumph. Think about it. We'd need to conquer diseases, halt aging, and potentially even find ways to transfer our consciousness, essentially achieving digital immortality. The medical advancements alone would revolutionize healthcare as we know it. But here's the ethical elephant in the room. Would everyone have equal access to this life-extending technology? Or would it be a luxury reserved for the wealthy, further exacerbating social divides and potentially creating a two-tiered society of mortals and immortals? The ethical implications of who gets to live forever and who doesn't would be a profound societal debate. And let's not forget the philosophical questions. If we conquer death, have we tampered with a fundamental aspect of what it means to be human? Is our mortality what gives life meaning and purpose? These are questions that philosophers have grappled with for centuries, and they'd take on even greater urgency in a world where death is no longer an inevitability. Chapter 4, Our Eternal Home, the Environmental Impacts of Living Forever. Now let's shift our focus to our pale blue dot, our home Earth. We've already established that an immortal population would put a massive strain on resources, but it goes beyond just food and water. Imagine the strain on our energy grids, the waste disposal systems, the very air we breathe. Climate change, already a pressing issue, would become even more critical. The longer we live, the more responsibility we bear for the environmental consequences of our actions. Sustainable living wouldn't be a choice, but a necessity for the survival of our species and our planet. This would necessitate a global shift in priorities. Technological innovation would need to focus on renewable energy sources, closed-loop systems, and minimizing our environmental footprint. Otherwise, our quest for eternal life might inadvertently lead to the premature demise of our planet. Chapter 5. The Undiscovered Country, Psychological Effects, and the Existential Questions of an Endless Life. Finally, let's journey into the uncharted territory of the human psyche. How would our minds cope with the reality of living forever? Would the fear of death, a powerful motivator, lose its grip, potentially leading to recklessness or a lack of purpose? Boredom and the search for meaning could become central challenges. In a world where we have potentially thousands of years to experience everything, would we eventually succumb to existential ennui? Or would we find new and ever-evolving sources of meaning and fulfillment? The very concept of time would take on a different dimension. Would we become more patient, more contemplative, with the luxury of endless tomorrows? Or would the weight of eternity lead to a sense of restlessness, a constant yearning for something more, even within the vast expanse of an unlimited lifespan? The choice is yours. Could humanity handle immortality? As we've explored the potential ramifications of eternal life, one thing is clear: it's not as simple as sipping from the fountain of youth. It would fundamentally change who we are as individuals, as a society, and as a species. It would demand a level of responsibility and foresight that we frankly haven't yet demonstrated on a global scale. But it also presents an opportunity, a chance to redefine what it means to be human, to push the boundaries of knowledge and achievement, and to create a future unlike anything we can currently imagine. So, what do you think? Is immortality a utopian dream or a recipe for disaster? Could humanity handle the awesome responsibility of living forever? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.